Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Good morning. Happy Monday. I feel like this couldn't have been a happier Monday for people in Denver, especially for Broncos fans. We can talk a whole lot about like the start of the weekend and stuff, or the start of the week. I think we should just dive right in because there's a lot to talk about, starting, of course, with the Broncos beating the Raiders. I think everyone who follows a little bit of NFL knows this. This was the big game. After 8 straight losses against the Raiders, the Broncos win yesterday, 34-18, an impressive win, and we'll get into why it was so important later. Also, to win this specific game, it was a very, very special day yesterday at Empower Field at Mile High. The two players have been huge rivals for decades now. We talked a lot about that last week. Nate Jackson had guests on the show, Jake Plummer, Woody Page. In off-field, he, BK, and Liv talked about it in length. So for them to get this win, very, very big. There was a moment, though, in the game that sort of took away from the celebration, at least on first glance. You had Bo Nix and Sean Payton with an interesting kerfuffle. They were definitely mad at each other. It was a moment where Sean Payton had written out something they had to do. Bo Nix went the opposite way. He mirrored everything. Didn't go to plan. But after the game, it was all love and peace again between Bo Nix and Sean Payton. We have a little clip of that right here.
It's part of the deal. Listen, last year, all of a sudden, it's just, there's still a little bit of Ferris Bueller in this player that we got to get rid of. All right, talking about Bo, and I love him to death. And so sometimes it's my love language. All right?
Well, he turned and looked at me and said, "I love you," and I turned and said, "I love you back."
What do you mean by Ferris Bueller?
Oh, it's just funny.
Yeah, I mean, just personality, or I'm just asking.
Yeah, Ferris was kind of quirky, doing his own thing once in a while. I mean, I don't know. Did you watch the movie? Have you ever seen it? He's still got a little Ferris Bueller in him. I mean, he's got some. We mischievous. Not that, maybe a little bit, kind of subtly. Look, there are times where you send something in, and then I don't want it flipped, and then it gets flipped and so it's all good. He works his tail off, and I am that way.
I have to admit something here. I have never seen Ferris Bueller. I'm from the Netherlands. There's a lot of movies here in the US that are like common knowledge for everyone that I have never watched. I guess I have to watch that movie now for sure. But I do like how Bo Nix, he's 25 years old. This was his 5th game in the NFL. His 5th game ever in the NFL as a quarterback, as a starting quarterback, getting better and better and better. I know he's 24, 25 years old, a little older than most rookies, but he knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows exactly what he wants. And he is not afraid to talk the talk and let his head coach know what he thinks about some decisions and how he feels about it. And I think that Sean Payton also likes that. I mean, there's definitely some aggravation between the two, but if you don't have that, you have a quarterback that just does whatever you want to do. It might also turn the other way, where the guy just doesn't care as much about getting better himself, doing whatever he thinks is necessary. And now you have a quarterback, different than Russell Wilson, who just does whatever he thinks is best. And sometimes they're bad decisions, but he's proven over and over now, 3 games in a row, that he is the right choice for quarterback. And it's really cool to see. I'm curious to see how he will develop through the rest of this season and then the next few years. But the start is very promising. Now back to the game. There was one defining moment at the end of the first quarter where Patrick Surtain II grabbed a ball in defense, ran it all the way back to make a touchdown. If that hadn't happened, it could have been 17-3. Now at the end of the first quarter, it was 10-10, and it became a completely different game. And we have a clip here also of Pat Surtain and Sean Payton talking about that moment.
It could have been 17-3 perhaps. Instead, the game's tied at 10, and it really swung the whole game.
Yeah, we felt like we needed that momentum moving forward. Obviously, we was in a situation where we had to capitalize on the opportunities we could get, and that situation there, I had to capitalize on that moment and make a play. And I could just feel the momentum shift, you know. You could tell by the team that that playing so far moving forward, we really felt the tempo, felt the urgency to really like up the energy and up the play for real. So how worried were you, Flacco? I was worried, I was scared, and I was tired. So that's not a good combination.
He made a real good play. The significance of the play is it's a 10-point play because they're probably in a minimum going to kick a field goal from where it happened at. So that was a huge play for us. And at that point, then all of a sudden now it's 10-7. But that was, you know, again, this game constantly goes back and forth. And when you score on defense, you win 80-some% of the time, and then 3 turnovers to none. But certainly it was a huge play, and at least a 10-point play.
What a perfect day for the Broncos, all in all. Beating the Raiders for the first time in 9 games, but also because of everything around it. They were playing in the throwback jerseys that were introduced in 1968 with the old D logo on it. Old Denver Broncos fans definitely will have felt that nostalgia. And even on the field was painted like in 1977. And even the scoreboard, the big Jumbotron, had a retro upgrade or downgrade? Upgrade? Well, it looked old, and that was beautiful. And the club also honored 2 old legends in the Ring of Fame with a plaque or a pillar with their faces on it. Riley Odoms and Steve Foley. That was all before the game, but also during the game. There was a lot of effort into honoring all those old legends. And we have a clip of Steve Foley here talking about what it meant to him to be back here with his old teammates.
Well, some of the guys I haven't seen since I left in 1987, and some of them since 80 maybe, and seeing them at a reunion. But it's just fantastic to see these guys. Hey, all I know is it's a good day to have a great day. Right, Scotty? Always.
Yeah, that's just beautiful. I have to say, like I said, I'm from the Netherlands. There's a lot of Broncos history, sports history in Denver in general that I've never gotten to experience. It is what it is. I'm catching up now. I'm learning a lot. And hearing these old people like Steve Foley talk about what it meant to be back there, but also how it was to play back in the days, how different it was from now. It's the same with Nate Jackson talking about his experience in the NFL. It helps me so much to understand how big this sport is and how big that moment yesterday was. And the players after the game and the head coach also talked about that because they, after this moment, this was before the game, they were in the stadium and the players were talking about they could feel them being there, and that meant just even more in this game.
I'm pleased that obviously we went on the road for a couple of weeks, and just as importantly pleased that we were able to win this game, especially in light of like the people that were here today and the people that went into the Ring of Honor and the alumni. I mean, they're, it's important for us to play well here, and then today, more importantly, I would say.
Bo, you're wearing a Elway throwback. What did 1977 and all that stuff mean to you? How did you connect with everything like that?
Well, you know, growing up is my dad's favorite quarterback. So, you know, being a Bronco now with everything that he's done to lay this foundation for the guys that come after him and can play quarterback at a high level. And With my dad, that history, him being my dad's favorite player, it's just two guys that have put me in a situation to go out there and succeed. And so it was a great day to kind of pay tribute to those that came before you. And, I had it in the closet and wanted to put it to use.
Yeah, it means a lot. Every time when the legends come through, we want to put out a good impression. And we just want to bring that winning culture that they brought to this organization. And to have that energy, to have that aura that they brought, it was pretty amazing. It was a special day today, seeing a bunch of legendary guys on the field cheering us on. I knew we was poised for success. It was going to happen.
Yourself being one of those guys?
Definitely. I definitely see that happening. Only time will tell, I'm only 24, so I got a lot of growing to do, but I'm definitely looking forward to that moment for sure.
Yeah, beautiful. What a day yesterday. Broncos fans must be very, very happy on this Monday, like I said. Let's move on from the NFL. We have off-field later today talking about everything. I believe we have off-field later today talking about everything, so definitely make sure to tune in then. There's a lot more today we'll get into. BK, Nate Jackson, and Liv Moods. Let's go to a little bit short. My bottle is in the picture. Oops. Let's go to a little bit of short news, starting with the NHL. The Avalanche had their last preseason game this weekend in Utah. They lost 2-1. Hasn't been a great preseason. But what's crazier, the actual season has actually already started. This weekend, the New Jersey Devils played the Buffalo Sabres in Prague, in the Czech Republic, for their global series, like you can see here. The Devils won 4-1. I love that the NHL went to Prague for this game. You can see a lot of American sports trying to broaden their horizon, going to different countries. The NFL has gone to England, Germany, Brazil. College football has gone to Ireland. But I think this is a way better fit. The Nuggets are in Abu Dhabi right now. They'll be playing the Celtics again, I believe, after their first preseason game. Those places feel a little bit out of place for the NFL, especially to go to Brazil and to Europe, where the game kind of doesn't exist. And I get that they want to expand their fan base, but this way, it makes sense for the future. But this feels way more like history and legacy. There's so many players like Jagger who are from Czechia, who are really big players in Czechia. Hockey is really big in Czechia. So for them to play the first game in Prague was really cool to see. A little bit more NHL. There's a new show, Face Off, inside the NHL. And it follows many players behind the scenes, follows Gabriel Landeskog among a lot of other captains in the Stanley Cup, in the playoffs last season. And it's a really cool insight into how these players are off the court, off the ice in this instance. And it follows a pattern of documentary series that we've seen a lot of now, starting with Drive to Survive, the Formula One show. But now you have shows from the English Premier League soccer. You have NASCAR, the PGA Tour, and now you have Inside the NHL. It's interesting that they can do this with every sport, and it works with every sport. I watched a few episodes of Face Off. It's really cool to see how these players are in real life. You saw Quinn Hughes, the Vancouver Canucks captain now. He's 24 years old, and on the ice, you see that he is becoming a leader, maybe not a leader per se yet, but now in this show, you see him talking to fans, and he almost looks a little awkward. And you also saw Gabriel Landeskog, something that we in Colorado obviously are very is something we want to see. And you see him just in the backyard with his kids, because finally or suddenly he has a lot of time to just be with his kids and with his wife. But there's the other side of him being the captain still and not being able to really be the captain because he's never in that locker room. It's a really cool show, stuff that you just cannot see in any other way. We had a little sneak peek from of Jesse Montano, our coworker here. He was in a shot, so he's world famous now. Really cool to see. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. Moving on to Vanderbilt, college football team, Vanderbilt University. They beat Alabama, the #1 seed in college football, the biggest upset in history, in Vanderbilt history. They didn't upset Alabama alone. They also upset the whole nation by doing this. No one expected this to happen. Vanderbilt is a small private university with just over 13,000 students. So for them to take on the big dog, the #1 seed Alabama, and win 40-35, imagine being a student there. Imagine being a student in Nashville, Tennessee, going to that game and seeing that happen. I don't know what I would do. Well, the students did. See that goalpost? This was the goalpost after the game. Here, let's start this video of what they did with it. I think security tried stopping them, but eventually they just knew that wasn't going to work. Look at that guy just on top of the goalpost. Amazing. This is through downtown Nashville. And this is the Cumberland River that they eventually threw the goalpost in. Can you believe that? They walked this goalpost 3 miles through downtown Nashville. Imagine being a bachelor or bachelorette party and seeing this thing walk past you. The whole street closed off. I mean, you can say a lot about how safe or dangerous it is. No, we're not doing that today. This is a historic moment, and no one in Nashville will ever forget what happened this day, or yesterday, that day. Unbelievable. And I'm just so happy for those people, because these moments will stick with you forever. And I think they did it in a hilarious way. So awesome story. Moving on to LeBron James. He was playing with his son for the first time, Bronny James. It was a preseason game against the Phoenix Suns, but LeBron James and Bronny James finally got to share the NBA stage, preseason NBA stage. Still really, really iconic, a historic moment. The first time ever a father and son played together in an NBA game. Really cool. They started playing in defensive positions, and this is what LeBron said about that moment. We stood next to each other, and I kind of looked at him, and it was just like, is this the Matrix or something? It just didn't feel real, but it was great to have those moments out there with him. Well, LeBron, he's there because of you. He's the reason he got drafted. You're the reason he got drafted by the Lakers. Don't act all surprised now that this is actually happening. But let's not take away too much from this moment. It is a really big moment, and LeBron James is one of the, if not the best player ever in the NBA. So for him to have this moment with his son is huge. We'll see how Bronny does during the regular season, if he actually gets as much playing time as he is now in the preseason. Still, no matter what you think of LeBron James, you can only root for this moment. And him being a dad to a son playing on the same team, huge. Really, really, really cool. Then one more thing, a little personal news. I started playing pickleball. I'm officially 50 years old now. This is me and my wife. We won the first game, lost the second game. Because of me, by the way, because I'm just not really good. In all fairness, pickleball, the reason why I want to talk about this, is the fastest growing sports for 4 years now, 4 consecutive years, and 13 million people in the US are playing pickleball now. So USA Pickleball, the official team of the US team of pickleball, the exclusive rights to their games have been sold to a TV station. So you can see that the sport is really growing, and it's not just this funny, silly little thing anymore that you see things being put up in every park now with all the annoying sounds. It's a real serious sport now. The TV station that bought the rights, QVC, the home selling home goods, home selling TV station, home shopping TV station. I don't think anyone below 60 years old watches those shows, or maybe when you're sick, but nowadays even kids can find Netflix or Disney Plus. Yeah, maybe I am just old. So yeah, QVC bought the rights to all USA Pickleball games. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't even know what these people are selling here. What is that, a panda or something? Like, why is this still a thing? Why is this still around? This TV station had enough money to buy the rights to the fastest growing sport in the US. I guess I really can't claim anymore that pickleball is cool. So let's just move on. Let's just move on. I want to talk about a little. This was all the short news. Let's talk about a little bigger news again. Shohei Ohtani. A few weeks ago, I talked about him getting the first 50-50 ever in baseball. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases in one season. No one had ever done that before. No one had even gotten close to that. Shohei Ohtani, the absolute GOAT of baseball, probably ever. That was 2 weeks ago. Ever since, he's already like broken more records and stuff. And he's in the, I got to say this correctly, the division playoffs. He's playing the San Diego Padres now. It's 1-1. So why am I still bringing the 2 weeks ago, the 50-50 moment up? Well, the guy that caught that ball, he wanted to sell that ball for, or the Dodgers wanted to buy that ball for $300,000. He said, no, I'd like to keep it. Now he's trying to sell it on an auctioning website. The highest bid is now up to $1.8 million. So I guess that saying no to that $300,000 was a very good thing to do. But he might not be able to sell it because two other people are claiming that they also caught that same ball. We have a little video here. Let's look at this video of when the ball, this is a fan that filmed all of this, when the ball came up to them.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Here you can see how the ball got into the stands. And there's guy number one. That is the guy that says he got the ball. Number two is the guy that's suing. Number three, this guy jumped over everyone still trying to get the ball. I think he's out of the question already. He says he pinched his arm here. That's why he couldn't get to the ball. That's why he's suing. It's a whole story. Anyways, there's three people here debating whether they did or did not get the ball. The first guy you saw is eventually also this guy on the left here, that caught the ball, the guy that's trying to sell it for $1.8 million now, or even more if the auctioning goes up.
Oh my God!
He's very happy. The guy in the red is very unhappy. The other guy is still trying to get up. And then now they're trying to figure this out in court. I'm glad I don't have to be the one to figure this out, because I don't really know what was happening there, even though I slowed everything down and I showed you all the guys. This first guy, I mean, his name is famous now, Chris Belansky. He was the guy that caught the ball. Then there was this other guy who claimed he got the ball, but I see videos on Twitter now that like show that he never actually had the ball in his hands. That third guy was just too late. He jumped over everyone, and yeah, his arm was pinched. But like, what can you do in that kerfuffle? Like there was chairs, everything. That's just crazy. And I said 2 weeks ago that good for him for not selling that ball if he intends to keep it. Otherwise, I think it should have been in the Dodgers museum, because that's probably where it would have ended up. Now it'll end up in some like billionaire's office or something where he never looks at it again. Good for that guy for making money if he's selling it, but the whole story is just a little sad and too capitalist for me. So I've got one more story for you today about the Savannah Bananas coming to Denver, coming to Coors Field. If you don't know the Savannah Bananas, they are a baseball team solely focused on entertainment. We have a video to show you what that entertainment looks like. if you're on TikTok, you know all these songs and these dances. That's why I'm dancing. I mean, I can't dance, but I just move with all the songs because I like it. If you've been on TikTok, you've also seen them probably. They have 8.8 million followers now and 220 million likes on their videos. They are a very big deal. And you can say whatever you want. I'm guessing the older people that are watching right now are like, what the hell did I just see? I get that, but it's working. And baseball in the last decades has been declining in popularity. People don't care as much anymore. I feel like baseball really is a sport of the 1900s, not of the 2000s. Well, the Savannah Bananas are really changing that with their banana ball, which is kind of what you just saw, but it's a lot more entertainment during the game as well. The Bananas used to be a summer amateur league team, and they gained popularity by doing all of this during those games. But eventually, they became so big that they became and I had to Google this word, a barnstorming exhibition team, which basically means they just tour the whole country just doing this in exhibition games, sort of like the Harlem Globetrotters, and they're doing this with their banana ball. The players are decent. They're definitely they played in college. All of them did, so they're good baseball players. But it's way more about the show. And I hear you thinking, why would I care? They're coming to Colorado. Is that going to work? Well, yes, because they started selling out their own home stadium in Savannah of 5,000 seats. Then they started selling out other minor league stadiums that they went to. And then they started, also good to note, since 2021, they have sold out every show that they went to, or every game that they went to. Can you call it just a show? Every game that they played since 2021 has been sold out. That's not crazy for a 5,000 seat stadium. But then they went on a world tour last year where they sold out MLB stadiums. They went to all over the US. They called it a world tour because that's what Americans do when they win something in baseball, even in their own country. They call it a world tour. So they did a world tour throughout the US in MLB stadiums. And then they went to NFL stadiums that they also sold out. And now, for the first time, they're coming to Coors Field. Tickets are going to be on sale at the start of November. You can sign up for a ticket lottery. Tickets are going to be $40 to $80. And you got to just hope to get a ticket. That's how popular these guys are. I think it's really cool to see how entertainment and baseball are coming together, because baseball itself is a boring sport. I'm sorry for everyone that loves to watch the game, but there's a reason why fewer and fewer people do. And this is definitely not like the sport. This is not, you're not going here to see your team win. This is a lot more for just fun, but it also, I think, brings more attention to the game of baseball again. And I love the dancing. I probably can't join them. I also don't know how to play baseball, so definitely no. That was all I wanted to talk about today. So thank you guys so much for joining me. We have a lot more shows today. I think Chloe put it up on all our socials. I don't know exactly. I think we have off field, we have off court, and off ice. That's a lot of shows. Wow. So we have off field at 11, off court at 12, off ice at 1. Wow, that is a lot of shows, a lot of content for you guys today. So make sure to tune in. I'm signing out. I'm going to be behind the scenes with everything the rest of the day. So you won't see me anymore. Lucky for you. You'll see BK, Nate, and Liv at 11 for off field. You'll see Liv at 12 for off court. And you'll see Jesse, JJ, and Megan, I'm guessing, for off ice at 1. So a lot of stuff to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week.